Hey girl, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Christina. Thank you for tuning into today's video. Today I'm going to be trying out some new goodies for you guys. This is a very long overdue video that I should have made a long time ago, but I'm finally here making this video especially for you guys. So if you want to dip into some new makeup with me, then just keep on watching. So for this eye look, I'm going to start off with this palette right here. This is a Makeup Geek palette. This is the one that Manny MUA created. I could not figure out what I was trying to say for a second. Taking the shade Frappe right here. I'm just going right in with this shade. I'm going to tap it first just like I usually would on a sticky base. It's been like such a long time since I've put this color on my eyes. It's like weird. I love it. It's like a muted kind of like rosy mauve. I'm going to go ahead and go into my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to take this shade right here. It's really kind of very similar to the shade that I just put down, but it's just a little darker, which is perfect because I'm using it to deepen up the crease. Then I'm just taking a clean, fluffy brush to kind of further diffuse. That way I have everything nice and seamless. So using the same Jaclyn Hill palette, I'm going to take the shade right here. I'm actually going to keep this kind of on the liner or like on the lash line. Wing this out. For the lid, I'm actually going to go back into our Makeup Geek palette right here, and I'm going to take this shimmery shade right here. And this is going to go on my entire lid. Just using my finger to apply it. And just to give this a little bit of a blend, I'm going to go back in with that fluffy brush and just blend. Just give some more depth back to our outer corner. So using my 39A palette, I'm going to take this dark purple shade here. I like what I was doing to the maroon. I'm going to do the same thing with this color. I'm just going to run that on my lash line. And I'm not bringing it all the way in. I'm just kind of keeping it like on the outer half. I'm just going to take a face wipe or a wipey, whatever you have. And I'm just going to clean up the fallout. Alright guys, so I kind of have a special little treat for some of you. Some of you are probably going to love this. Some of you probably are going to be like, what is that? For my drugstore queens, this is for you. I'm actually going to be trying this new foundation along with a new concealer. A lot of people rave about this one. And I just remember this being a really good concealer back from high school, so that's why I got this one. I do have some other things. I got this butter bronzer and then this Stay Matte thing, but both of them are too light for me, so I like this. I like this little thing that comes in there. This is for bronzer. This is weird. How are you supposed to put on bronzer with this? Like this? This is what it looks like, girl. That's my skin tone color. Like, no, that's not gonna work. This, we may be able to pull it off, like right here, maybe to brighten. So I'm gonna try it for that, just to like set underneath my eyes and see how I like it. Not to really set, but you know, just to kind of give me maybe some extra, I don't know, I have to see. So I'm gonna use the same primer that I always use, the Benefit Professional. Drugstore makeup is like just, of course it's a different experience because you can't really, you know, swatch the makeup and, you know, test it out, see if it's your shade. So that's the only really big downfall that I feel like that there is to buying drugstore makeup. I don't mind buying high-end makeup, one, because it has always lasted me a long time, no matter if I use it every day or every other day. It has always lasted and has always like worked out for me, which, you know, it doesn't always work out like that for everyone. Some people do, you know, spend money on makeup and it doesn't end up working out. Anyways, I'm just the type of person, like, if I know that there's something out there that's better, I want what's better, you know. I don't know, that's just me. Or I don't know, I'm like torn between these two. I may even have to mix them. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of moisturizer on. This one is pretty expensive. It's probably like $45, $35, but they do have a really good moisturizer at the drugstore. It's by Garnier, the same brand that makes this balm makeup remover. They also have a moisturizer. It's called like Aqua Balm or Moisture Balm, but that one is really, really good. It says matte and poreless Fit Me foundation. It's for normal to oily. And then it just says mattifies and refines pores, matches natural tone, natural seamless finish, mattify. Oh, that's not in my language. Okay. There's like no specific directions or anything. I don't know if it's best to apply this with a beauty blender or a brush. Should I do like half with a brush and half with a beauty blender? I guess I'll do that. First, I want to see if this is even my color. I feel like this is a pretty good color, actually. I'm just gonna go for it. If it doesn't match, then I'll try one of the other ones in another video. My forehead, I don't even really usually put foundation on my forehead, because look how, do you guys see how tan my forehead is compared to like the rest of my face? So I feel like it's just a waste, because I'm like covering up some, you know, natural contour right there. So I usually don't put foundation on my forehead, but I guess I'll just put a little bit like right in the middle. So I'm gonna do this half with my beauty blender, and I'll do the other half with a brush. So this is actually looking really good. I love the way it goes on. That is just one layer with a beauty blender. Now I'm going to do the other half with a brush. I'm using this Morphe Y7 brush. It works pretty well with both. I want to say that it comes off a little bit more full coverage with a brush, but I could also be wrong, because right now I have more like breakouts on this side of my face. I don't really have anything to cover over here, so kind of hard to say. As far as like the finish, it's pretty much the same with a brush or a sponge. It doesn't, looking at it up close, like it doesn't make it, the finish isn't different if you use a brush or a sponge. It's pretty much the same, pretty consistent, so I like that. It doesn't matter if you use a brush or a sponge, you're still going to get the same payoff. Well, you know what? I kind of want to say that, oh! Pendeja. Oh my gosh, I'm using a different shade, you guys. Okay, I'm just gonna wipe this off as best as I can. I didn't even tell you guys, the shade that I'm using is 228 Soft Tan Bronx. I'm actually going to go in with my brush just because I do kind of feel like it distributes the product a little bit better. And it doesn't soak up as much as the foundation. So it does, yeah, look at that coverage. So one layer of foundation gives you like a nice natural looking finish. I wouldn't say that, you know, the coverage for just one layer is pretty good. But if you want to be like even more covered, then you would want to do a second layer. One thing that you don't want to do with a brush is swipe your face. If you're swiping, you probably are going to get a little bit streaky. So you want to make sure that you're just stippling. That looks pretty good, and it matches. It's a pretty nice match too. I'm not mad at it, but I'll have to see like how it looks for one outside and how it looks with the rest of my face on. As of right now, I'm not mad at it, but I don't know. The color kind of looks a little... In the mirror, it looks fine. And then on camera, it kind of looks like a little bit too olivey. Before I get ahead of myself, let me go ahead and contour. So I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Concealer. This isn't something that you can find at like a drugstore. Well, you can't find it at Walmart, that's for sure. I don't know if you can find it like at CVS or Walgreens. Target, I don't think you can find it at Target. But I get these from the beauty supply store. And they're only $3.99. If you live in the Dallas area and you ever come to the Town East Mall, there's a store inside Town East that's called Q. They also sell these inside that store. Like a little goes a long way, so you don't need like a whole awful lot. I feel like sometimes I can put too much and look like muddy or something, so just beware of that. I'm gonna take some of that. Okay, so now that we have now that we have dipped our beauty blender in eyeshadow, actually I was about to pick up my Tarte Shade Tape, but I have concealer to use. Don't miss this. So these are the swatches. This is where it can get like confusing for me, because this one looks very, very similar to like to my skin tone, but it's like a little bit pink. So I don't know if like this means this is not going to work for me, because yeah, I feel like, I don't know, this is too close to my skin, not light enough for me, I would say. That's the only thing that's wrong with this. Maybe I could use it when I'm darker, because I do get darker. So I'm going to go in with this one, which is the sand. The neutralizer on its own would be way too light for me, but I guess its purpose is kind of like what I did with the corrector, to like brighten, or I don't know. I mean, because the shade is just called neutralizer, so I don't know if that's an actual shade or if it's meant to like neutralize. So we're just going to go in. Yeah, this seems like it's pretty consistent with the Tarte Shape Tape shade that I use. I don't really know how much of this to use, so I'm just going to say that's good. It blends like a dream. I don't have to like struggle or anything, but woo, I'm looking on the monitor and that's looking kind of bright. Maybe I just used too much, because it's very blendable too. So I don't think I needed as much as I thought I did there. And then what I like to do is just kind of bring any of the excess down underneath my cheekbones. That way I can kind of clean them up a little bit. And have a more snatched cheekbone. Just for poops and giggles, I'm gonna go ahead and set my eyes with this. I'm gonna go right in with the little sponge that I usually set my under eyes with. And I would usually also put it here. I'm not going to keep that on there for very long, well, at least on here, because it looks kind of white already. I'm going to dust this off. I'm going to go ahead and kind of push it into my skin. And I was supposed to be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, but so I am using my ABH Contour Kit. I'm going to take some of my Ben Nye Banana Powder and snatch the bottom of my cheekbones again, just because the first time it didn't really do it for me. I'm going to be sweeping both of these colors on the bottom of my eye. Now taking the darker one, actually adding some of this to like extend the whole liner thing that I had going on, just because, I don't know, I wanted to, so. Now I'm going to add blush. I actually use this blush in my everyday makeup routine, and I love it. It's the Milani blush. It's the Luminoso. If you haven't tried this blush, it is bomb. So bomb. The reason that why I like it is because it like kind of almost looks like you applied highlighter whenever you apply this. And it's so pretty. I love it. I kind of can go a little too ham with this, so let me just stop. I also love to put blush like on the tip of my nose. It just like gives that little like button nose look. Oh, I love it. And then for highlight, I'm also not using a drugstore highlighter. I'm using my Champagne Pop one because I love it. That same highlighter, and I'm gonna go in my inner corners. Love to put this like right here, like in the, oh, I love the way that looks right there. I'm going to use this Wet n Wild lip liner crayon. It says it's in Brandy Wine something. Ooh, the number to this. I am going to throw this away. If Anthony seen this, he would have a legit heart attack. But I'm actually still going to use this. I would like to take a sponge, a beauty sponge. If you have a clean one, you can use a clean one. I'm using the same one I use to do my makeup with. And I'm just lightly tapping over the highlight, over the bronzer, pretty much over everything, just to kind of set everything and push everything into my skin. It kind of gives the effect that everything is coming from within rather than it's just makeup sitting on your face. The lip liner, I'm going to be using the NYX matte lip liner. This is in Soft Spoken. This is what the color looks like. I'm lining my lip, but I'm kind of slightly just going over my lips too. This Tarte lip paint. The shade name is called TBT. This is really old. It actually like got hot and melted in my car. So it's not the best consistency, but I love the color. Alrighty girls, so this does bring us to the finished look. Now I did pop on some lashes, but it's a very like subtle lash, nothing as dramatic as I usually do. They're usually touching my brows. This brand is the same brand that I've been using, the Miss 3D Volume Lash. $2.99 at the beauty supply store, and I don't know what number that I'm wearing, but I do know that I'm wearing this brand. So my final thoughts on this drugstore makeup is it's bomb. Like, I'm up close and personal with you, and look, like, I love it. My pores, what pores, like this really is, I like it. So I'm actually really impressed by this drugstore makeup. To me, it kind of really looks like when I have the Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation on. It's like really matte, which I love. I have oily skin, so anything that's going to help me to not stay so oily is always a plus. I'm definitely going to see how this wears throughout the day and see if, you know, I like it, if there's any oil control at all, which I feel like I don't feel oily, but I feel like I almost want to start getting oily on my nose, which the oil isn't bad or anything like that, but I'm just used to a little bit more of oil control, but that's okay. Yeah, so my first impression is actually not bad. I'm impressed. Drugstore foundation, I would definitely say, is a yes. The concealer also was a yes for me, and this also was a yes for me. I'm feeling really nice and snatched. The only thing is that I'm a little bit more oily than usual, but like I said, it's not even that big of a deal. It's not anything crazy or anything like that. So I'm definitely loving the products that I got. I feel like it was worth my money, and I don't have that like guilt, you know, that I spent freaking $100 at Ulta like I would usually do if I was buying a foundation and a concealer. So I mean, it's definitely a lot better in the sense that it saves you money. I don't want to say too much because this is just my first impression of it. I'm going to come back and probably give you guys a full review on what I think and maybe some more pros and cons on high-end foundation compared to drugstore foundation. But if you guys want to see me try out some more new makeup, whether it be drugstore or high-end, whatever it be, let me know down in the comments. If you have something particular that you want me to try out, let me know. I know there's like so many different brands. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell, that way you never miss a slay with me, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.